Welcome to this week's edition of the Bishop Exchange. I'm John Bishop. I'm with Des Bishop, and we've got Bradley Hurley in Liverpool helping us along. This week is different than last week because last week we were both together at Des's house in the Hamptons, and now we're apart again, and it ain't the same.
There's a sadness here. We're back to virtual reality, and it's just not the same, John.
It's not the same. It's not the same. It was such a laugh last week. It was so good being in the same place.
Great feedback on the last episode. Great feedback.
Yeah.
Now we have set a standard. We gotta raise it up.
Got to keep it going. It's going to get expensive though. I'm paying for these flights to be in this.
Isn't it amazing though the energy that you have when you're laughing in each other's presence versus over headphones?
Yeah, but also listen. It shouldn't be a surprise to us because that's our job. You know what I mean? To be in a room making people laugh is a lot easier than trying to make. Did you do any of those gigs during COVID where people were doing gigs down the line?
All I did was 2 corporates, but I insisted. I told them the only way we're doing this is if you get somebody to interview me, because me trying to do stand up down a lens with a bunch of squares on the screen, it's not going to work. It's just going to feel weird. So I did 2 of them. One, I was interviewed by Darren Garahy for Bank of Ireland, and the second one, who I can't remember who it was for, I was interviewed by somebody else, and it was great. That's the only way to do it.
I know. Well, I did a charity gig. Jason Manford had this charity gig, and he was doing the gigs, which I found fucking mental. Yeah, with proper lineups. When he made one of the nights a charity night, and he asked me to do it, and I said, I was like you. I said, I can't. I said, I did exactly the same. I said, I'll do a Q&A or something, but I can't go, hey, and you see this, and when you see it, I just, you know what I mean? I just couldn't do it. And that immediacy of being in the same room, so I felt all week because I literally got back this morning. I flew in at 6:30 this morning, so there's a good chance I'll fall asleep halfway through this.
Me and Brad will keep you lifted up.
Lift me up. Just keep me going. I'm trying to battle through. What do you do when you fly this way? Do you sleep in the day or get
Actually,
through
to be honest with
time?
you, flying from America to Ireland for me is the only time that I have like a sleep schedule like a normal comedian. Because I wake up at the crack of dawn normally. I was up at 5:45 a.m. this morning for no reason whatsoever. And when I get to Ireland, when I fly back, I actually can sleep into like 11 and I don't fall asleep till 2 or 3 for a couple of days. And it's the only time that I actually feel
like a comic.
Like a normal comic. Like there's a comic in the States called Godfrey. I don't know if you met him yet. But anyway, he does the Cellar a lot. And he gigs till 3 in the morning every night. And he sleeps till like 1, 2 in the day. That's the way he lives. And for a comedian, that's a better way to go. You know?
Yeah.
If I get a 1 a.m. slot at the Cellar, which happens to me sometimes, I'm like depressed. I don't know what to do.
Well, this week, so I came over to the Cellar. For people who don't know, the Comedy Cellar is the mecca of stand-up comedy, and it's in New York, and it's got 4 separate rooms. And because they do so many shows a night, you can get a lot of gigs in or a lot of spots in. So I did 27 gigs from Wednesday to Sunday. Just get up.
That's like a marathon. I'm surprised you didn't have like a telethon. John's about to do his 23rd gig. If you sponsor now, we'll add another spot.
Should have been walking on, tamping myself down and people throwing water on me.
Fucking Rocky music playing while you were trying to get up on stage. Did you chase a chicken? Did you chase a chicken up on stage? Sorry, Brad. Sorry
That's
for
a
the
Rocky
80s
reference.
That's a Rocky reference, bro.
Everyone does know what it. When you said chase a chicken,
you can't win, John. You can't win.
When you chase a chicken on the stage, it sounds like a dance from the 80s. Did you chase the chicken on the stage? Did you do the chase the chicken
We all
dance?
did the chicken, right?
Yeah.
Brad, did your generation do the chicken dance? I
don't think so, you know.
And also that's what
you did the chicken, John. You did the chicken dance, right?
Yeah, everyone did the chicken dance. Yeah. It was the wedding dance.
And then it was like Italian. It's like Bene so ingrazio. I mean, I don't speak Italian. Das nel mi città. You never had that, Brad?
That's
You guys, honestly, I'm so glad I wasn't born in fucking whatever year you were born, because you guys missed out on so much fun shit. Rock the boat. Have you got on the floor and like rocked the boat?
It's not a bit of me.
No, nobody does that anymore. This is what I'm saying. Nobody knows how to have fun. Nobody knows how to have fun.
You know what? That is true. Are there any like fun songs for your generation?
Yeah, literally the only one I can think of is the cha-cha slide. That's what we used to do when we were like in year 6 at the disco.
The cha-cha slide. But what was the song connected to the cha-cha slide?
I think it was called the cha-cha slide.
Oh, right. How does it go?
And it's just like this guy reeling off dance moves, and you then would do the dance moves.
Because basically, when you did the locomotion, like there would be like a train of people going around the function.
Yeah.
Whether it was the 21st or the wedding, or in America, the Sweet 16. And there would always be some like creepy aunt fucking holding on to your waist. Anyway, man, you don't rock the boat. You know what's funny? Hannah, for our wedding, the DJ said, any songs that you don't want me to play. And Hannah said, don't play Shout. Stand up and shout now. Now wait a minute. You know that one, yeah? Hannah was adamant. No Shout. She said it was too cheesy. Which I guess I can understand the sentiment of it being too cheesy, but that's like the sober mind. The 3 p.m., you're on a Zoom with the wedding planner and the DJ, and you're thinking, Shout is so fucking cheesy. Anyway, what happened was the wedding was great, okay? And they finished with, coincidentally enough, they finished with Jump Around by the House of Pain, which I can perform in 3 different languages. But I was 6 weeks after hip surgery, so I couldn't fucking jump at my own wedding, which was very sad. But anyway, we had the after party at John Scott's. Of course, John was there. I forgot that John was present for this whole story. So anyway, we have the after party in a bar in West Hampton called John Scott's, which was just as fun, if not funner, than the wedding, right?
Yeah.
So Shout comes on in the fucking bar, and Hannah was standing on the bar dancing to Shout. And I looked at her, I said, you fucking didn't want this at our wedding, and you're having the time of your life. This is the whole thing. The cheese pleases. Cheesy is pleasy. Yeah.
That's a good catchphrase. Cheesy is pleasy. Cheesy is pleasy.
Anyway, we didn't have Rock the Boat or Shout at my wedding, but those are just, and we didn't have Locomotion, but I feel like the Locomotion's gone out of favor.
Yeah, but also you had a cross-generational wedding. Well,
let's face it, the older generation was ignored at my wedding. Yeah. They didn't really get any of their music.
No, so in terms of picking the music, there was always going to be a little bit where you were going to have to give stuff up. You were just going to have to hand it over.
I didn't give a fuck. No, I was fine. It's like, hey, okay, you don't want Shout. You're wrong. That's basically, and it was proven that she was wrong because she was dancing on the fucking bar at John Scott's with my cousin Bella, and it was a highlight. It was a highlight.
Brad, for your generation, what's the they might be the same songs, but is there anything you go, oh, that's the one we all have a laugh at?
I don't know, I think I'm maybe like, I don't get into them. I feel like my mates would have a better example than me.
No, because your generation just don't have fun.
Maybe it's like WAP. It's WAP by Cardi B.
Yeah. WAP. Wet ass pussy.
Man.
Actually, wet ass. I fucking love that song, man. I love WAP.
That's a bop. Yeah.
It's a bop, and it's so fucking funny. Swipe your nose like a credit card. I mean, and back that Big Mac truck right up in my little garage. I mean, come on. That is
the throat. What is the throat one? Touch
I want you to hit that little dangly thing hanging in the back of my throat. I love it, man. I fucking love it.
Imagine. Hit that little dangly thing hanging in the back of my throat is probably easier to rhyme than actually saying, hit my epiglottis. Do you know what I mean? Hey, you got this, hit my epiglottis.
Yeah, you got this, hit my epiglottis with your big Tyrannosaurus. Epiglottis. Anyway, whatever. We're not going to start freestyling.
We're not fucking freestyling, bro.
Yeah.
So,
macaroni in a pot. That's some wet ass pussy. Welcome to the Bishop Exchange. Welcome to the Bishop Exchange. All our middle-aged list for our middle-aged fan base. Brad keeps us young.
Keeps us young, yeah.
But did you ever see The Wrestler? Did you ever see the movie The Wrestler with Mickey Rourke?
Yeah,
and, what's her name? That great actress. Wait, I know her. Marissa Tomei. Marissa Tomei, right? You know, from My Cousin Vinny. They have that great scene where they're like talking about the 80s and they were like, yeah, what happened to people having fun? Or like, nobody has any fun anymore. And I'm like, yeah, exactly, man. Everyone's fucking having fun after the fact. Like, people don't have fun anymore. They record and then they have fun watching back the experience.
The interesting thing is one of the rules that they have in the Comedy Cellar as a comedy club that makes everyone be in the moment is everyone's got to put their phones in an envelope.
Yeah.
And that should be just, it's such a simple thing to apply and such a simple device that makes sure everybody's in the room. Like, you imagine that at concerts, or you imagine that just doing it in a theatre or something in the UK, saying, look, you've all got to put your phone in this little envelope and you can't use it, you can't touch it.
Experience.
And be in the room. But it makes the show. You imagine those gigs that if somebody's phone was going off or somebody was messing with you, you just know you'd lose half the audience. If somebody in the corner's lights, face was glowing up off the lights of the phone. So that's the way to do it. That's the way to do it. But it
also makes you feel freer as a performer. I think for the audience, it's a better experience, but it makes you feel more free as a performer. Not because me or you or anybody really that I know is going out to say something outlandish, right? But at the same time, it's very easy to take something out of context when it's recorded, and then you have to deal with all that drama. So if you know that people aren't recording, then you can just feel free the way it always used to be, you know? Because everything in context, not always, but largely 90% of the time, it makes sense in context, and then it can be taken out of context, and then people don't feel free to perform. I mean, that for us, it's a huge deal, you know? But I think for the atmosphere, it's also way better, you know?
I've got to be honest. I came back yesterday, got the 6:30 flight or 6:45 flight of a night, landed about the same time this morning, about 6:30 this morning, and I've ploughed on, and I'm flagging, and I have a choice. Yeah, I've got that choice now. You know what I find? The difficulty is like you start flagging and I don't know what to do. I don't know whether to eat some chocolate or some sugary thing, push on, give in, have a snooze, get a cold bath. I'm in that kind of gotta wake up.
Well, the one thing you didn't do, which I find is essential, is when I land in Ireland, I always sleep for about 90 minutes. And then I'm back in the game by 10:30 a.m., 11 o'clock a.m. Yeah. And I feel pretty normal, actually. So you forgot to have the immediately when you got home nap. That's the essential ingredient.
I couldn't. 2 reasons. One is I drove to the airport, so I had to drive myself from the airport. So
that's tough.
That taxi nap on the way home. And then when I got here, I'd forgot that I'd organised for a load of builders to come. They were all sat outside the gate waiting. So,
oh my
God!
God!
I got straight into that. So yeah, you're right. It should have been done early doors and then get on with the day. But the day was already started. And also, I'm completely obsessed with luggage. I was just like it took over an hour for me to get my bag. Over an hour from when I landed, like an hour and 15, hour and 20 minutes or something. And I've just become obsessed with the luggage. I was asking ChatGPT.
ChatGPT?
Yeah, but P. Anyway, the fella, the robot. I was asking the robot, like, what's the average wait time? What can I get it quicker? Is there any fast lanes to get me luggage? What's the best way of getting it? Just, when you're there, because you're thinking, why am I waiting? I could have got home and had me nap now. Waiting for this fucking bag that's full of stuff that I don't need because I'm going home to a house full of stuff. This is the stuff that I took somewhere else.
All I can tell you is that even for even whatever it was, you had a week and a half trip or a week, I would just stuff my shit into a carry-on. If I am not checking in my luggage, man. I'm not checking it in.
That's what fucking ChatGPT said. Don't check in your luggage. You've got artificial intelligence already inbuilt. It said, that's what it actually said. The best thing to do is not check in your luggage.
Were you flying business?
Yeah.
Yeah, and you were flying business, so you know that you're going to be able to like push the limits of the size of the bag that you could bring on the plane. What do you, John? You're nearly 60 years old.
I got to learn this shit, haven't I?
Come on, man. You don't need to go on ChatGPT.
I know. I just got to phone Uncle Des. This could be one of the questions that you'd ask Uncle Des.
No, that's just. I was telling John that years ago I was going to start a YouTube channel, Ask Uncle Des, like an advice thing. But then it was like, this just sounds kind of weird. Yeah, so I never got into it. Well, actually, I was just never organized enough to get into it. But John, I understand how tired you must be because after your week holiday, I feel like it must be hard to come back and have to go back to installing Velux windows. I feel like that must be hard for you.
What do you mean?
Well, you have been installing Velux windows.
This? Yes. You know what? My cousin sent me that.
Before we get into it, this is a visual joke. So for people that just listen on audio, you got to find a way to see the image, watch on Spotify, go on Bradley's Instagram, go on the Instagram for the Bishop Exchange. You need to see the Velux commercial for installation of Velux windows because this is insane. This is insane.
So my cousin sent me that, and I said to him, I thought it was me.
I honestly, John, I thought you'd done an ad for Velux windows. I was like, how has John not been posting his Instagram ad for Velux windows? It's insane.
And I kept on meaning, I meant to.
Who the fuck is it? Is it AIU? Because
it couldn't. I looked at it. I'll see if I can get. I've turned my phone off. I wanted to try and bring it out because my cousin sent it to me, and I should expand it. If that's not me, I'm amazed. But if it is me, I'm thinking, why have they used the picture of me? That's not even the best picture of me. It's half. It's like the back of my head and me right ear.
But it's crazy. But I could almost feel like you could sue them for using your likeness. Now, I'm not suggesting that because they're a great company. I have a Velux window in my house in Ireland. I'm not anti-Velux windows. But this is insane.
I mean,
don't go in the comments. That's all I can say, John. Stay out of the comments. There's a lot of comments like times are tough for John Bishop.
Yeah, is there? It's crazy.
How it's literally you. I mean, I've had people send me stuff that looks like me. Like Sam Prendergast plays for Ireland. you know, there was a couple of shots of Sam Prendergast from certain angles that looked like me when I was in my 20s, you know, when I had a shaved head. But like, it's not that close. Whereas this is you. I swear to God, you need to investigate whether that's an AI you.
An AI me?
I think it's an AI you. They were like, give us a Velux installer that looks a lot like John Bishop.
So they
British
just got a picture
everyman.
of John Bishop.
Because it's even the same hair length. It's the same hair color. Everything about this guy is you.
I've cut my nose. I've scratched my nose and cut it all at the same time. I couldn't fit Velux windows.
This guy even has a scratch on his nose.
No, I can't even. I couldn't fit windows. I can't
guy.
even scratch my own friggin' nose without cutting myself. Look at that.
Yeah.
You're right. I'm 100% with you. I am 100% with you. My cousin Carl sent it to me. Who's a builder who's probably looking in a Velux catalogue, looking in the Velux catalogue for the Velux window, and then saw me when, what the fuck's that, John?
What's my cousin John?
What's John doing?
What's our John doing there?
Yeah, he probably only sent it to me to see if I could get him a discount on the job.
The installer's discount. John, when can you come up and install the window?
Yeah. So
Yeah,
where is it, Brad?
It's like
It's
a
fucking
Facebook
Velux.
ad.
By the way, Velux is responding to the fucking comments. They're loving it.
Oh, are they?
Yeah, because they got a fucking John Bishop ad for free.
Right, but Brad, you're going to
See
have
you in
to...
court for looks.
Yeah, you're fucking...
I mean, come
Prove
on.
it.
I've never seen.
They're going to have to bring the man to court. They're going to have to prove it's not me. They're going to have to bring the other me to court.
All I
And
can
the
say
pro-
is, if this guy
Oh,
wants
no.
to make a living, he should go out and do like a John Bishop tribute act. Or you're not telling us something. You sold out.
So,
They're great windows, especially for like a dormer
are
bedroom.
Are they great windows? You want to try and fit them. They're great windows. You know what I mean? You need that engineering. You need that quality of engineering when you're spending your days fitting them, I tell you. But it's windows. You know what I mean? You'd wish it was like, I don't know, a Mustang
something
car or
sexy.
something good, something where people go, whoa, yeah, there's a chance he might be advertising that. There's not a chance. There's not a chance.
Although honestly, if I was working for Velux Windows, and I was like, who's a celebrity that we could get? I feel like you are a good celebrity for that brand, because you're like an everyman. You've raised your family. You know about home ownership. You know about being responsible.
And I can see through things. I like glass.
So I really feel like they're getting a John Bishop promotion without actually using John Bishop. So
there is a thing where I actually got asked. I don't know if I mentioned this. I got asked, "What's the best invention ever?" Oh, did we talk about this? I don't know whether I have.
We did talk about what's the best.
Yeah, we talked about that.
Yeah, and I said it was glass. I said on this podcast, and I've said on radio, it was a Radio 4 show, what's the best invention ever? And I said glass, and I think that's where the links come.
That's where it's come from.
AI has gone, he likes glass.
The comedian that likes glass the most, he's been on record saying on numerous broadcasts that he loves glass.
That'll be Velux's defense. They'll be saying, look, we only put him in a situation that he said he already likes. We didn't offer him the contract because he said he wants to do it anyway. He likes glass. We've got it on record. Interesting. So, what was I going to say then?
John's having another jet lag moment.
Fuck.
What was on your mind? You had something locked and loaded.
No, it was about last week. It was about seeing you last week. Oh no, that's what I was going to say. So I saw you last week, which was great. It was great to catch up. Then I went in, and I I did the gigs. But at the end of the show last week, we were talking about you and Hannah going over to Rhode Island, and it was to do with tennis and the Tennis Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
But what happened, and I was watching it this morning, that evolved into something completely different. So I was looking at Hannah's Instagram this morning and watching her playing. I mean, that was proper full on. She ended up in these pro-am tournaments in front of a proper crowd with proper...
Yeah, well, no, that was why she was there. That was actually what she was supposed to be there for. But the thing is that, so it's normally a celebrity and a pro playing against another celebrity and a pro. But the thing is that Hannah played basically up to a level that's right under professional and actually did play some ITF tournaments when she was a teenager, including she played doubles with Jessie Pegula, who's now in the top 10. You know, so she played at like a high level. And honestly, in my opinion, in doubles, I think in doubles she could hold her own on the pro tour right now today, and I don't say that lightly. I think it's like a real thing. But anyway, so she ends up against Andy Roddick. She was playing with Kim Clijsters against Andy Roddick and Uzo Adoba from Orange Is the New Black. I don't know if you guys watch Orange Is the New Black, but she was Crazy Eyes in Orange Is the New Black. And Uzo was not a tennis player. She was fine. She held her own. But like, there's, it's just a different thing. But Andy and Hannah were going back and forth, like backhand to backhand. And the first thing Hannah did was she blasted one at Andy Roddick at the net. And they're all mic'd up. So Andy was joking, being like, I didn't know comedians had this much rage. But then I guess he realized that she was a proper player. So he was hitting at her properly. But then he actually hit a full belt serve at Hannah, which the crowd gasped, and then Hannah returned it, and it was just awesome. The only frustrating part was that I thought it would be more, I wanted to see Hannah with like Kim Clijsters and Andy Roddick and Arantxa Sanchez Vicario, who was also there, who's the funniest woman ever, and I just would have loved to have seen like a real match,
Yeah.
But it was great fun.
No, it was great. There's a little clip of her going, and she's doing the ooh.
The funny thing about that is she always does that. And people thought she was people were laughing at the start. But I was like, nah, she just does that. It's just like, she just happens to have a mic on. So originally people thought it was a joke. And then she just never stopped. Law of diminishing returns. The crowd stopped laughing eventually because they realized, oh shit, she's a grunter. And she met Maria Sharapova. But Maria Sharapova didn't play. And we met Chris Evert. I talked to Jim Courier. Very cool. All the legends of tennis were there. Stan Smith, name drop.
We got him.
I got the fucking name drop. I got the name drop. I didn't even bring this thing up. John brought this up.
We got him. I fished him in, Brad. I fished him in. I knew I'd get him. All the shit I've been getting off him for name dropping. Let's just throw it in there. Ah.
Oh, God. What was the other thing? We were supposed to get a jackpot thing. What was that for?
I did get that. I think it was the bonus episode you wanted.
The bonus. Yeah, the bonus episode. Anyway, Chris Evert. I might as well throw them all out there now that I've gotten my name drop in. I didn't talk to Patrick McEnroe. He was there. And I didn't talk to Maria Sharapova. Hannah did meet Maria Sharapova, though. But I'll tell you what was wild is, so Hannah, in the second match, Hannah was playing with one of the Bryan brothers. I feel like the Bryan brothers are really big in American tennis, but internationally I feel like people might not know. But they're the most successful doubles pairing, but they're twins. Yeah. The two Bryan brothers. They were being inducted into the Hall of Fame too. So Hannah was playing with one of the Bryan brothers against the other Bryan brother and Angela Kinsey from the American Office, who was actually pretty good at tennis. So that was like a fun match. Anyway, during that match, Chris Evert and Tracy Austin, two legends of tennis, particularly American tennis, but like Chris Evert is... you know who that is. Brad, do you know who Chris Evert is?
Yeah.
Yeah, like the real deal, like one of the most successful tennis players of all time. And they were sitting behind on a stage watching Hannah play. And then Hannah was like, after shots, turning back and like talking to Chris Evert. I mean, for Hannah, who spent like a lot of her life thinking she was going to be a professional tennis player, this was an amazing result. In fact, it was kind of healing for her because there was a time in her life where she felt like she kind of failed, I guess, at tennis, or like a little unfulfilled for all the effort that she put in. And in the end, she just had to let it go, you know? Now, obviously, she's found her passion in comedy, but it's pretty nice that the success she's had in comedy has actually brought her full circle right back to the world that she thought this was going to be her life. Well, and now she was right back in it. It was pretty cool.
When we touched on it last night when I was at the airport, it was similar to me when I've played in the charity football matches. You know, I only got to play in the charity football matches with some incredible players when I've done the soccer age. You know, Ronaldo number 2. You know, I could list them all off. Incredible players, but you get to play with all of these players at that, and you only get to do it because it's an add-on to the job that you do. So you get a little bit of a window into what it could have been. The difference is, like, I was doing that as a comic, so I was like well into my 40s. Hannah's doing it now when she can still play.
She can still play. I mean, I said it. I think I said it on Burnaphone this week. I've been trying to get Hannah to make like a docuseries about trying to get back on the tour as a doubles player. But the problem is that she's got so much going on. The dedication that's required, it's just impossible.
And the travel. You know? The travel.
Is bonkers,
the travel that they have to put in, because what surprised me, because tennis is not as big as the other sports that you have, you know, in my head anyway, it's not as big as you would imagine in terms of people travelling to go and see it. I wouldn't have thought there'd be loads of people from the UK going over to see the US Open. There'd be a select number, but there wouldn't be loads. I couldn't believe how many people were at the comedy club this week. And, you know, you're chatting to them, saying what you're doing. They were over for the US Open. I met
British people.
Yeah.
And, well, Jack Draper is big, man.
Yeah. Jack's big, and he's got a chance, and he's doing well. Yeah. But I'm just, it's not a sport that, because I suppose with football, you follow your team. With that, you're kind of following the events, aren't you? I don't know.
You're following the event. You're following the sport. You're not as focused on which players. Obviously, there's certain ones that you want to see, but then you know you end up watching like insane matches on like the smaller courts, and you just get so into them.
Yeah. Well, I've done it. I've been to Wimbledon a couple of times, and it is brilliant. It is brilliant. You just get sucked into it. I mean, in the UK, what happens? Everyone plays tennis for 2 weeks, and then
that's the thing.
It moves on. But it's brilliant to get sucked into something like that. Brilliant. But I was just surprised that so many people had travelled over. Maybe there's a correlation between people who like comedy happen to like tennis as well. Maybe
cultured people.
Cultured people.
Well, here's the thing that I found with the charity football matches and the charity tennis matches, is that in a lot of people's mind, they think that it's going to be like funny, but actually, I think most people prefer to just see a real game. Yeah. You know, and so I was saying, because obviously, like the level of celebrity that was playing, like they're just not. Tennis is a hard sport, you know. And it's just you and the ball. When you play a charity football match, if you got 3 or 4 people that aren't good at football, they're surrounded by like amazing players. The match still happens. Whereas tennis, it's like you and the ball. If it goes into the net, that's the end of the point. So I'm saying that next year, what I'm hoping is that next year, Serena Williams and Roger Federer get inducted into the Tennis Hall of Fame. And they invite Hannah back. And do you guys know, Michael Costa is a Daily Show correspondent, and now he's one of the revolving guest hosts on The Daily Show. I know in the UK, The Daily Show is not as big, but, you know, if you look him up, you'll say, oh, yeah, I've seen that guy talking about stuff on The Daily Show on Instagram. Anyway, he actually won an NCAA tournament. He played high-level college tennis and played, like, not unsuccessfully, but he had an unfulfilled professional tennis career, but he did actually have like a ranking, and he's a real tennis player. I've seen him play. And so I'm suggesting that Hannah and Roger Federer versus Michael Costa and Serena Williams as like an actual match. We can gamble on it, and there's be like a real crowd and like talk shit and like make it like a real thing. That's what I want.
Make it a thing.
Yeah, like a real match.
But and we're gambling on it.
Well, you need people to care.
I know, but
I'm not suggesting gambling's the way, but what I'm saying is.
But can you give Hannah steroids and then we'll gamble? Can you make sure
when Hannah's mental health, I'd be giving her a fucking beta blocker and a Xanax. That would be performance enhancing, to be honest.
Yeah. For most people, yeah.
That's what I'm putting out into the ether for next year.
Yeah, no, it's great.
So anyway, you dropped the name drop on me, but Stan Smith was there, who actually I didn't remember, but the Adidas sneakers, Stan Smith's, they're him. And he gets a piece of the action on that for a turn until he dies.
No way.
Yeah.
He must be one of the first ones. I remember Stan Smith. You know the Stan Smith trainers, don't you, Brad?
Yeah.
Yeah, so he was saying that people forget that he's a real guy. They just think of the sneaker.
Yeah.
But then I looked him up then, So there's a funny quote.
Them, did he?
He was involved. He was he was basically the first one. I guess him and Chuck Taylor for the Converse. They were like the first kind of named sneakers.
To get named, yeah. And the thing is, Stan Smith's trainers were like a fashion trainer in Liverpool. They become a thing.
For life.
Imagine.
So Stan Smith, in an interview actually with the BBC, because I was looking him up afterwards, because I was like, I'd kind of forgotten the Stan Smith connection. And I met him, and he's a nice guy, and he was one of the umpires for one of Hannah's fun matches. And, it's pretty wild. This legend of tennis is just sitting there joking around with Hannah. Anyway, so I looked him up, and there's a funny interview where he says, because his niece grew up in the UK, actually. And during in secondary school for PE, she had a pair of Stan Smiths on, and the PE teacher said, "Oh, those aren't real trainers. They're fashion trainers. You can't wear them." And she said, "Well, my uncle won Wimbledon in these." But anyway, so that was one of the funner weekends of my life, I have to say. But the real winner for me was Arantxa Sanchez Vicario. For the tennis fans who remember her, she's won numerous majors. I mean, she is a Hall of Famer, a tennis Hall of Famer, which is why she was there. But she was so funny. Just such a laugh at the table. Because the way you get stuck at a table with these random people, you don't know if they're going to be fun. She was amazing. So the whole weekend was super cool. Name drops all over the place. And that's our Tennis Hall of Fame weekend, represented here on the Bishop Exchange.
Good.
That's fab.
What did you do this weekend, Brad?
You know what, actually, this weekend I've been crippled with health anxiety.
Why?
I would just get the worst health anxiety that I had a bit of pain in me, I don't know, below my chest area, and got so obsessed with that.
That's called your stomach.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But not that low down,
so your sternum.
Just a bit high up. Yeah, maybe by me sternum. And I got so obsessed with it that I ended up in Reddit holes, and then ended up booking a private ultrasound scan to find out that everything.
You got an ultrasound?
Yeah, that's how bad my health anxiety is. Do you have health anxiety at all?
What did he say?
What you were like, why have you come here?
Is that what he said?
No, they were like, they said it's good to be anxious about your health. And I thought, you know what? It is.
That's that bollocks reverse psychology. Oh, it's good to be anxious about it. They should have said, there's nothing wrong with you. Get out.
Well, I paid for this, so she probably was come back next week.
Yeah, probably. She's probably thinking I'm going to have to just say something, because otherwise he's had a wasted journey.
Yeah, she was making you feel better.
I'll tell you my sternum story.
What did she say it was? Did she say it was a panic attack?
She said it's wind.
Yeah, I have a wind story too, but you go first, John.
You got a wind. I've got a serious story. Oh, you
go serious, and then I'll go light.
I don't think I've ever told you this. So this would have been 2019, something like that. No, and I'm trying to think, did it overlap with COVID or whatever? Because what happened is I had a cough.
A cough.
Couldn't get rid of the cough. Going on, just couldn't get rid of this cough. And I'm not one for going to the doctor. So I went to the GP, and the GP said, "Look, how long have you had it?" And I said, 10 weeks or something. He went, listen, I'm sorry, but like that's a long time. We have a policy now that if you have it for 12 weeks, we'll send you for an X-ray. So see how it goes. I still couldn't shake this cough off, so he sent me for an X-ray, and then I got a message of him saying, look, I've got the results. Can you come in?
Oh, jeez.
And he sent me down. He said, look, you've got a shadow, right, on both lungs. He said, and that's not good. He said, if you smoked. I said, I've never smoked in my life. He said, look, it's the NHS. I can put you in for an ultrasound, but it'll take a while. He said, but you might want to go and get this looked at, because these things tend never to be good news, and you just really want to get the full details.
Okay.
So I went, right, okay. So I went home and made an appointment to pay to get it done. And then Melanie heard me making the appointments, and she said, who's that for? I said, well, it's all right, it doesn't matter. She said, who's it for? So I had to say, look, it's for me. She said, what is it? I said, well, I've got a shadow across both lungs, and I need to get it done, but it can't be good news, so I didn't want to tell you. So she said, well, I'm coming with you. I was going to do the hero thing, go on my own and then just find out. So she came with me. So we sat there, and I went in, and they'd already had the X-ray results, so they knew what they were looking at. And anyway, they did the not the ultrasound, the CT scan. It was a CT.
Oh, you did
scan,
a CT,
so they could see everything. And then it come out, and it got sent straight on to someone to look at. And so we sat there for a bit, and then the consultant calls me in, and he said, when did you have your accident? I said, sorry, what accident? He said, when did you have your accident? Because your sternum has been broken. So when did that happen? I said, I've no idea what you're talking about. I don't remember ever breaking my sternum. I used to do a thing when we were kids where you would belly flop off a wall onto the floor and see who could do it the most. And I'd done that a few times. And he said, because what's happened, you've broke your sternum, and on the front of your sternum, it's calcified bone. So when they took an X-ray, that bone cast a shadow across both lungs. So they thought that you were dying of cancer, because that's the only thing that could have been in there.
Wow.
But instead, you've just got a big block of bone in the middle of your chest. Isn't that a mad story?
Thank God.
So today, you could have gone and found that out. You could have gone and gone, imagine there's a big bone.
I just can't believe you've broke your ribs and not know.
Listen, I used to do mad stuff when I was a kid. I used to do, because Evel Knievel was everywhere. So it was a guy who used to ride motorbikes and always falling off things. And I used to throw myself off everything till I was about 8. And maybe even a bit older, and I thought, this is starting to hurt now. But prior to that, I was just, anytime I got hurt, I just thought, it doesn't matter. I've had loads of, anytime I've had an X-ray, I've got lumps in my bone, in my legs and all that stuff, but it's all been a slight fracture. But this obviously must be some size, this bit right in the middle of my chest.
But do you think, as a man, you're likely to, do you think if you think something's wrong with you, you will go and get it checked, or do you think you avoid getting it checked?
No, now I get it checked. Now I go and see a doctor every year now and get a full checkup. Yeah. Me and Melanie do that, because Melanie's mum and dad both died of sneaky cancers that were hidden. So she's keen to do that every year. So I just go every year with me big bony chest.
Yeah.
So don't X-ray that, because you'll be amazed at what's there.
I had a lump that I ignored for 3 months, and then my doctor said, you should go get an ultrasound, which I paid for privately, and it was cancer.
You win.
Why is Des always finished with the best stories?
I had to get a testicle removed, and I had radiation. And what are you going to do?
What are you going to do? I mean, I had the sad story about old Nans with my wife before a CT scan. Des had proper cancer and has only got one bollock left. But I still wanted most of the sympathy.
No, but anyway. But what's funny about that is that when I went for the ultrasound, I wasn't doing the Bradley. John, you were saying I was going to do the hero thing to go on your own. I wasn't actually doing the hero thing when I went in for the ultrasound because they had told me that you would have the ultrasound and then on Friday you would see the specialist and the specialist would give you the results. So I went in on it was a Thursday morning because I went to the doctor on the Wednesday. On a Thursday morning, I went into the Charlemagne Clinic, which is no longer there in Dublin. And I was on my own just thinking like this guy's going to fucking put a load of gel on my balls. And then I would go in for the serious chat on Friday, which my cousin Mick Gibney was going to come with me. That was already organized. So I'm there on my own. And this dude fucking, ultrasounds my balls. And then he you see that one? That's the right one. That's the healthy one. You see the left one? He said, you see that thing there? It's about an inch and a half. That's your cock. No, I'm just kidding. That's small, but that's not what we're scanning here. No, he goes, you see that thing there? Inch and a half. He goes, yeah. He says, that's a tumor. He said, so I think you have testicular cancer. He told me like that.
But you were only young, weren't you?
I was 24, but I wasn't like expecting it. It was the year 2000.
No.
And I was like, what? And so then he said, yeah, so go back outside and then we're going to call you for a chest x-ray. We're going to do a chest x-ray to see if it's spread. And I remember I went out and I sat in the bench. It's just a fucking waiting room, I sat on the bench. I'm on my own. I just found out I had cancer. And I have to tell you, the testicular cancer, not actually that serious, but I did not know that at the time. Now, when I say not that serious, I mean, it's not nothing. But, with knowledge, okay, this is a pain in the ass, but it's not the end of the world.
Well,
but at the time, I had no idea.
It's a pain, but the pain's not in your ass.
Not in your ass. But I had no idea. So I'm sitting there, and I guess the woman next to me, some random woman who still to this day I have no idea who she was, she must have known something was up because she turned to me and she said, is everything okay? And I said, not really. And I started crying. It was almost like she knew that I needed somebody to be there. And anyway, I did the chest x-ray and then that was fine apparently. And then they were like, oh, that'll be 60 pounds. It was still Irish pounds. That's how long ago it was. And I paid. And then I went outside and I joke because this is a 100% true story. I did cry for a bit. I'll be honest. I was crying on the canal. I always think of it when I pass the canal, at the bridge at Ranelagh, which is where the Charlemagne Clinic used to be, and I called my mother. So it was like 4 a.m, New York time, maybe 4:30 in the morning. So she answered the phone. She goes, "Oh my God, Desmond, what's the matter? Something's wrong." So I said, yeah, something's wrong. And I told her, and she goes, I knew it. And the joke I say, which is, I say, oh, you knew it? I said, you've always thought something is wrong. Every fucking time I've called you my entire life. This is the one fucking time that you were right. What about all the other times when you thought something was wrong and I was just calling for money? And then the other joke I say, which is really not fair of my mother, but she goes, Desmond, I'm coming over immediately. I was like, no, Ma, I just found out I had cancer. That's bad enough. Stay where you are. That was not fair of my mother. Anyway, that was how I found out I had testicular cancer.
Wow.
But I did also call an ambulance on myself about 4 or 5 years ago because I had what I thought was chest pain. And I literally got picked up in an ambulance and full belt, sirens going, whipped off to Peconic Bay Medical Center, only to be told that it was
wind.
Yeah, it was wind.
No way!
That I needed to fucking fart. I needed to rip one. It was just trapped wind.
Bad.
Oh, that's embarrassing. I
know. Well, you know what? Well, no, you know what he said to me? He said, do you want to be the guy who called because he had trapped wind, or you want to be the guy that's dead because he didn't call when he had fucking chest pain?
That's what they say in America. That's what they would say in America. Do you want to be that guy or do you want to be this guy? Yeah, you be this guy. Yeah. Whereas in the UK, they go, stop wasting our friggin' time, will you? Dickhead.
Oh, man.
So funny.
Well, this has been a very medically based ep, hasn't it? You know, and it's what men need to do. They need to talk about health. Get checked. Get out there.
Yeah.
And if you think you're going to fart or burp, do that before you go rushing to the hospital. Do that first.
I do have another story about calling an ambulance on myself that Hannah misrepresents in her Netflix special.
I think you might have were you at a restaurant?
Yeah, I told that story, did I?
Yeah, you told us. Yeah.
About the fact that they were like, the black people were like, our grandson's name is Desmond.
Desmond. Yeah. You told that on the
I told that story. All right. I didn't tell the fart one or my cancer one. Actually, do you know what was worse than cancer? Was Edinburgh Festival for the year 2000. I did this hip hop comedy show, which was it just did not work. Like, it was bad. Yeah. You know? And by the end of Edinburgh, it was fucking depressing. But every night where we were just going out there and just bombing in Edinburgh, I'd be like rubbing my balls, being like, and I think I have cancer. So, sometimes people complain about Edinburgh. I'm like, you have no fucking idea.
That festival gave me cancer. Yeah,
well, no, because I had it that whole summer and I was fucking ignoring it. Because that's the whole thing, is you keep thinking it's going to go away, you know?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, it's mad. But it's one of those things, because I know you did the show about it and stuff like that, but no one ever thinks of you as a cancer survivor. You know, I think.
Well, I don't like being considered a cancer survivor because testicular cancer is so not a big deal.
Yeah,
you know, and I don't like. So here's the thing: people in the cancer world, actually, a lot of them don't like this sort of dramatic description of cancer because it instills a lot of fear in people, which can actually be counterintuitive to actually getting checked. You know. And like, cancer is such a broad spectrum of disease. It's almost silly that somebody with testicular cancer is called a survivor, the same as, you know, somebody who had leukemia and, you know, or some sort of like really deadly lymphoma and like nearly died just trying to fucking get rid of the disease. You know, there's just no comparison to the experience. So that's why I don't like the term cancer survivor. I just, you know, I like joking about my own experience. One thing I don't like is when like other people joke about it. Like if they're talking about me independently and they make a comment about it, that fucking pisses me off, because at the end of the day, I would have preferred not to have testicular cancer. But other than that, I don't like it to be like a serious thing.
Yeah. All right. Good. All right, lads. I need to go and
sleep. I need to go for another ultrasound. All this medical chat's giving me more.
Bradley thinks he has testicular cancer now.
Yeah. All the way through, Brad was testing his balls all the way through.
You got to check your balls.
Okay, got to check them. Them. They're out for a reason.
And John, at our age, you got to get your bloods checked for prostate cancer.
Yeah, don't know that. I mean, now I do that, and it's just the bloods. I have had
the finger up your ass.
I've had the finger up my ass. That was
they don't have to do that anymore. Any doctor that still does that just wants to stick a finger in your ass.
Yeah.
You don't actually have to do that.
And I don't know why he wanted to do it in a service station on the motorway. But NHS cuts, that's what the guy said to me.
Anyway. All right, great episode, lads.
Yeah, thanks, lads. That was good. That was interesting. Yeah, it's not like being in the same place, but this is good.
Not the same. We didn't sing as much.
We didn't sing as much.
Next week.
Yeah, but we'll get there. We'll get there. We'll keep doing it.
Thanks, everybody. Don't forget, like and subscribe. Spread the word. The Bissionaries. Get the word out there. You lit up the Spotify comments last week. Keep it up. We love it. So
yeah, brilliant. And what we'll do, actually, let's do a bonus app tomorrow or the day after or something. I'm not going to get one in now, but there's that many comments flying around. It was great.
Yeah, we can do one.
Yeah. All right, then. Let's find the sound this week. All right, good, lads.
Talk to you later.
Ta-ra.
Bye.